Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving straight into the exact blueprint of a guy named Grant. And to really understand his journey, we've got to start right at the staggering, rock-bottom reality of his situation. Imagine waking up, checking your bank app, and realizing you have absolutely nothing left.
Literally, one single penny. That was the exact balance in Grant's first bank account when he was just 24 years old. 1 cent.
And honestly, it barely got any better from there. His second account held a grand total of $2.26, which is roughly 158 rupees. This was a young guy who had just been fired from a job he didn't even like anyway. He'd sent out over 200 resumes in 2 months, with 0 callbacks. Left with 0 options, he was literally forced to pack up his life and move back into his parents' house.
He said, "I felt like a complete loser." And you can picture it, right? That deep shame sitting at the family dinner table, having to admit he was still unemployed. He had followed all that traditional advice we always hear, get good grades, take the safe corporate job, and it had completely failed him. He was totally broke, just watching his friends build businesses while he was staring at the sky. But lying in that park one day, something just snapped. He decided he'd had enough. So he set this wild, almost impossible, desperate goal for himself. He was going to put 7.5 crore rupees into his bank account and achieve total financial freedom. And the craziest part? He was going to do it in just 5 years. Okay, so let's get into how he actually pulled this off. We're going to look at the 7 stages of freedom, the necessary mindset shift around valuing your time, the 25x retirement rule, the power of compounding, and finally, how to build your side income. Starting off with part 1, the 7 stages of freedom. Basically, the escape roadmap out of the rat race. Stage 1 is clarity. Look, financial freedom isn't some vague, dreamy idea like, I just want to be rich. It's an exact, mathematical number that you absolutely must define before you even start. So if you need 50,000 rupees a month to run your life smoothly, well, that's 6 lakhs a year. You have to know exactly what it will cost to fund your life if you didn't work for the next 10, 20, or 30 years. Because without this number, you're basically just shooting arrows in the dark. Once you lock in that number, you hit stage 2, self-sufficiency. This is the point where you're earning exactly what you spend, relying on absolutely 0 outside help. Now, making 15,000 rupees and spending 15,000 rupees might seem pretty small to some folks, but make no mistake, this is your first major psychological victory. You aren't a burden to anyone anymore. Money stops being a constant source of tension and finally starts becoming a tool. Skipping ahead just a bit to stage 4, we hit stability. Just imagine the immense breathing room of having every single credit card completely paid off, plus a solid 6-month emergency fund sitting in the bank. For the very first time, you actually feel solid ground beneath your feet. If you lose your job tomorrow, you survive. You can finally just take a calm breath. And that incredible momentum propels you straight to stage 6, financial independence. This is that golden stage Grant managed to reach in just 5 short years. At this level, your investments have grown so much that they effortlessly cover all of your daily expenses. Work, it becomes totally optional. You aren't clocking in out of compulsion or just to chase a paycheck anymore. If you work, you're doing it purely for passion. It's complete freedom, total control. All right, part 2, valuing time. A massively necessary mindset shift.
Ask yourself this. Would you waste 30 minutes of your day trying to get a 500 rupees discount if your time is actually worth 1,000 rupees an hour? Cred founder Kunal Shah uses this exact example to prove a huge point. Most people simply don't know the hourly value of their own time. Protecting your time is a highly profitable investment. Think about it. If you hire a maid to handle household chores so you can focus entirely on building wealth or scaling a side business, that is absolutely not an expense. That's a strategic investment in your future. Plus, hey, you're creating a job for someone else in the process.
Moving right into part 3, the 25 by retirement rule. This is all about finding your magic number.
The 25x rule is brilliantly simple. You just multiply your annual expenses by 25. So if we use that earlier math and you've calculated you need 12 lakhs a year to live comfortably, your ultimate financial freedom target is 3 crore. Boom, that is your magic number. Now here's the absolute genius part. Once you actually hit that 3 crore target, you split it perfectly in half. 1.5 crore goes straight into a fixed deposit to safely cover 12 solid years of your living expenses. And because you don't even need to touch the other half, that money sitting in an index fund gets 12 uninterrupted years to compound at, let's say, roughly 15%. Over that time, it transforms into a massive 8 crore. Then, you literally just split it again and repeat the cycle forever. It's a self-sustaining wealth machine. How amazing is that?
Part 4. The power of compounding. We all want to grow our wealth, right?
But here is the brutal reality check. To fund those massive investments and actually reach that 25x number in the first place, you have to ruthlessly cut the specific expenses that are actively destroying your compound interest. Every 1,000 rupees you save today is literally what buys your freedom 10 years down the line. Grant highlights a few major wealth killers here. Number 1, expensive houses. You might really want to consider renting or moving just slightly further away from the city center to save a massive chunk of capital. Number 2, buying cars purely to show off. Just don't do it. Number 3, constantly eating outside instead of cooking at home. And number 4, oh boy, this is a massive cultural trap. Big Indian weddings. I mean, people literally trap themselves in years of heavy EMIs just to feed thousands of distant relatives for one single day. You're effectively eating away your compounding potential one buffet plate at a time. Avoid these traps so you can fuel your investments instead.
Finally, Part 5. Building your side income. Accelerating that wealth.
The truth is, you can't just shrink your way to 7.5 crore. You have to actively build income outside of your 9-to-5 to speed up that 5-year plan. Grant heavily utilized real estate for this, and he points out there's more than one way to play the game. You can go the active route, which is flipping. You find a cheap rundown property, fix it up, and sell it for a nice profit. Or you can go the passive route, which is rental income. You buy a house on a loan, get a reliable tenant in there, and use the rent money to pay off your mortgage. Once the loan is cleared, you own the asset and all that cash flow entirely.
But listen, to do any of this, you absolutely must master the ultimate skill, selling. Grant insists that whether you're in a regular job, running a business, or even just navigating your daily relationships, selling is the one skill you're going to use for your entire life. Seriously, go read books like Dan Kennedy's The Ultimate Sales Letter or Robert Cialdini's Influence. Or better yet, learn a modern digital skill and sell it. You can learn how to make animated videos or faceless explainer content and freelance those services online. Monetize your skills, sell your value, and pour every bit of that extra income directly back into your compounding machine.
So that brings us to the final question, and it's something you really have to ask yourself right now. Are you spending your time building your ultimate financial freedom, or are you just working to pay off your past decisions? Grant proved that even starting from literally one single penny, brutal discipline, and the right math can completely change your life in just 5 years. So figure out your 25x number today. Take that first step towards your own financial abundance. What's holding you back?